She truly believed she had a tight grip on your life, didn't she? It was as if she thought she held a leash and could pull you in any direction she wanted, whenever she felt like it. To her, you weren't a person with feelings and dreams of your own. You were more like a piece of furniture in her home, like a sturdy chair or a lamp that would always be there in the same spot, no matter how many times it was bumped or moved around. She got so used to you being there that she stopped seeing your value. She thought she could treat you poorly, push you aside, or even give you a little kick now and you would just stay put. She assumed your patience was bottomless, and that your kindness was a sign that you didn't have any other place to go. In her mind, you were a total guarantee. You were her safety net, the person she could always count on to be there when things got hard for her, even if she offered you nothing in return. She figured she could push you as hard as she wanted, say the meanest things, and give you absolutely none of her time or love. And you would still be sitting right there, waiting for her to notice you. But then something happened that she never expected. You did it. You finally stopped. You stopped the chasing, you stopped the asking, and you stopped the waiting. You left a huge empty space where you used to be. That big hole you left behind is now filled with a heavy, cold silence that stayed long after the last words were spoken. That silence completely broke her world. It changed how it feels for her to walk into a room. It made her realize that the person she thought she owned was actually a man who could walk away. If you are just finding this group of caring friends for the very first time, I want you to do me a favor. Just take a deep breath for a second. Let the air in and let it out slowly. Find a comfortable chair and sit down. This place right here was built for men who are completely done with talking in circles. It is for the guys who are finished trying to explain their hearts to people who have decided not to listen. We are the ones who are finally learning a big secret. A mouth that stays shut and a hand that stays steady carry much more power than a screaming match in a parking lot ever could. We are waking up to a new feeling, a fire inside our own skin that tells us we are worth more. Stay with us for a bit. Listen closely to what I am saying. Because what we are about to talk about might be the one thing that actually stays in your mind all year long. Let's be very honest about what really happened between the two of you. She treated you badly. She really did. Maybe she just brushed you off like you were a tiny bug on the wall that didn't matter. Maybe she spoke to you with so much disrespect that it felt like a sharp knife being pulled across your ribs. She looked at how kind you were, and she looked at your natural wish to be a good man. And she saw those things as mistakes. She thought your goodness was a weakness. She saw it as a green light to do whatever she wanted because she was sure you were too soft to ever leave. She probably even walked away from you first, feeling totally sure that you would be calling her and texting her by midnight. She expected you to beg her to stay. She expected you to crawl back to her and ask for just one more chance to be her doormat. She truly thought you would fall into 1,000 tiny pieces without her in your life. But you didn't do any of those things. Instead, you went dark. You didn't stay quiet because you had nothing to say. I know your heart was probably screaming at the top of its lungs. You probably had a million different things you wanted to shout. But you made a very big, very difficult choice. You chose to be silent. And that one simple, heavy decision started to eat away at her confidence in a way she still hasn't figured out how to fix. This isn't some silly game we are playing. We aren't out here trying to trick anyone. This is about something much deeper and more real that lives in our guts. It is part of how humans actually feel attraction to one another. It is hidden in the oldest parts of our brains, the parts that pull us toward things we cannot control. A man who stays quiet after he has been treated like trash is not a weak man. He is a man who finally realized his own price tag. He knows what he is worth, and she can feel that change in him. Even if she is 3 states away, she knows the feeling has shifted. She might not have the right words to describe it yet, but deep inside her soul, she knows she walked away from something very rare. She knows she might never find a man like you ever again. Let's look at how this whole mess started. Who are you, really? Most men, when they get hurt this badly, they usually go one of two ways. They either blow up like a loud bomb, or they melt down into a sad puddle. They flood her phone with angry messages, or they start saying sorry for things that weren't even their fault. But if you look closer, you will see that both of those moves come from the same sad place. They are both just a man asking for permission to matter. He is asking for permission to feel, permission to be important, and permission to even exist in her eyes. But the guy who stays quiet and calm, the man who takes the hit and keeps walking with his head held high, he isn't asking for anything anymore. He stopped waiting for her to tell him he is okay. That change is like a fuse blowing in a house. People can feel it even when they can't explain what happened. She felt it too. She felt the exact moment you stopped needing her to tell you that you were a good person. And honestly, it scared her. She was so used to being the one you needed. She was used to having a remote control for your feelings. When that power suddenly disappeared and she reached out for it and found nothing but cold air, a little bit of panic started to grow in her mind. It wasn't a loud kind of panic. It was that quiet worry that hits you at 3 o'clock in the morning when the world is still. It is that place where she thought she would feel free, but instead, she just feels lost. This is the truth that people are often too scared to say out loud. When a man takes his heart back, the woman who didn't value it starts to doubt every single move she made. She starts to wonder if she just threw away a winning lottery ticket. She starts to wonder if what she had with you was actually the only real thing in her whole life. And she finds out that she can't let go of the memory of you. Not because she is weak, but because her heart knows a strong man when it sees one. Now let's talk about what attraction actually looks like. It isn't about saying sweet things or having a silver tongue. It isn't about chasing someone down the street like a lost puppy who wants a treat. Real attraction comes from being comfortable in your own skin. It comes from a man being so solid and steady that he doesn't change his mood just because someone else is acting crazy or being mean. Most guys think they can buy love. They think more phone calls, more text messages, and more expensive gifts will fix the hole in the relationship. For a minute, it might look like it's working, but you're really just building a cage. You're building a feeling of duty, where she feels like she has to be there, but she doesn't feel a hunger for you. The man who does a little bit less, who moves at his own speed, and who doesn't feel the need to fill every quiet moment with noise. He becomes a mystery she can't solve. He is a question she keeps asking herself when she is alone. He is like that one book she started but never got to finish. He stays in the back of her head long after she thought she had moved on to someone else. Again, this isn't a trick. This is just what happens when a man decides he cares more about his own pride than her approval. You didn't try to play hard to get. You just became a person who is actually worth having. There is a huge gap between those two things. One is just acting like you are in a play. The other is a real change in your bones. She isn't drawn back to some secret plan you made. She is drawn back to the man you turned into. She wants the guy who doesn't have to scream to be heard. She wants the man who doesn't feel the need to explain his hurts to people who aren't trying to help him heal. She sees a man who looked at the broken pieces of a relationship and decided to build something better for himself. That kind of man is like a magnet. He isn't trying to be attractive. He just is. Let's go even deeper into this. Let's talk about self-respect. It isn't a coat you put on to look good for other people. It's not a show for the neighbors to see. It isn't something you wear just to look tough. Real self-respect is a private thing. It is the set of rules you live by when you are all alone. It is the line you draw in the dirt to protect your soul. You don't do it because someone told you to. You do it because you know you are worth the effort. Most of us were never taught how to do this when we were boys. We were told to work hard. We were told to provide for others. We were told to just keep taking the hits and not complain. But we were never told to treat ourselves with the same honor we give to our own word. So when someone hurts us, we just eat the pain. We act like it doesn't matter. We go back for more even when it hurts. We don't do this because the situation is good. We do it because we were never taught that walking away is a superpower. A man who stays in a place where he is treated like dirt isn't being loyal. He is just scared. He's scared of the quiet. He's scared of starting over from nothing. He's scared that without her, he's a nobody. But the man who leaves without making a big scene, or the one who stays and builds his own life regardless of what she does, finds something most guys never find. He finds out that he is enough. He isn't perfect. He's got scars. But he is a whole person. He is capable. And he deserves something real. Once you learn that about yourself, you can't unlearn it. You carry that heat into every room you walk into, and everyone can feel it. She feels it too. The guy who used to be so desperate for her attention doesn't seem to care anymore. And in a weird way, that makes her want to give him that attention even more. This is the big mystery. The less you need people to tell you that you're great, the more they want to prove it to you. You don't have to demand respect from people. You just have to be a man who actually likes the guy he sees in the mirror every morning. Let's talk about having a purpose. This is where many guys get lost. When things end, men spend all their energy looking backward. They play the old tapes of what happened over and over in their heads. They scroll through old messages and look at old photos. They try to find the exact moment the ship hit the iceberg. They do this for years sometimes. It's not because they are weak. It's because they cared about something that mattered, and nobody showed them how to use that energy for something else. Having a purpose is the exit ramp off that highway of sadness. I don't mean a distraction like a video game. I mean a real reason to exist. When a man finds the thing he is meant to build or do, he doesn't have room in his head for the past anymore. He doesn't have time to wonder what she is doing or who she is spending her time with. He is too busy becoming the man he was always supposed to be. That slow, quiet, daily work of growing is more attractive than any argument you could ever win. She doesn't miss the version of you that was terrified of losing her. She misses the man she saw once in a while, the guy who laughed, the guy who moved with weight and importance, the guy who knew exactly where he was going. That version of you was always there inside. It was just buried under the weight of trying to keep her happy. When you stopped holding on to her, you finally found yourself. And the guy you found? He's actually a pretty incredible person. Let's talk about being steady. Steady men are like unicorns these days. It's not because we can't be that way. It's because the world tells us to hide from bad feelings or to blow up. Being steady doesn't mean you're a robot without feelings. It isn't about pushing the pain down into a dark place. It's not about acting like you don't bleed when you get cut. Being steady is the ability to feel every bit of that sting and still choose to take a step forward. It means being in pain, but still making a plan for your day. It means being betrayed by someone you loved, but refusing to let it turn you into a bitter, mean person. That is the hardest part of all. Being bitter feels like a shield. It feels like building a high wall so no one can ever touch you again. But bitterness isn't a wall. It's a cage. The man who stays bitter isn't punishing her. He is punishing every good thing that hasn't happened to him yet. A steady man feels the hurt. He doesn't lie about it. He sits with the sadness. He lets it teach him things. He takes the lesson and then he lets it go. Not because he forgot what happened, but because his future is worth more than holding a grudge. That is what she feels coming from you. She felt it when you stopped fighting back with words. She felt it when you stopped trying to explain your side of the story. She saw a man who wasn't going to be pushed around by her moods anymore. She saw a man who finally planted his feet in the ground. And that is the image of you she carries in her mind now. Here is a truth that might sting a little bit. Most people only see the value of what they had once they see how much better you are doing without them. She didn't see how good she had it when you were there. That doesn't make her a bad person or a villain. It's just how people are sometimes. We stop seeing the things that are always there for us. But the second you are gone, the second your presence is replaced by a long silence, everything gets very clear. Suddenly, the stuff that felt normal starts to feel like a miracle. She remembers the way you looked at her. She remembers what it felt like to be the person you chose out of everyone else. She remembers the small things she thought were annoying, but now she can't stop thinking about them. She wonders about you all the time. She wonders if you ever think of her. She wonders if your silence means you moved on, or if you're still hurting inside. The fact that she doesn't know the answer is where your power lives. Your silence right now isn't just you being gone. It is a loud, strong way of being present. It says more than 1,000 long letters ever could. You weren't silent because you quit. You were silent because you respected yourself too much to beg for crumbs. That is going to matter to you as you grow. It will matter to her too. A man who begs loses respect, but a man who stays silent becomes a ghost she can't stop thinking about. He didn't do it by being mean or cruel. He did it by being a whole person. Being a complete man is something a woman never forgets. Now I want to talk to the part of you that still hurts, because I know it does. Even the strongest guy still feels the weight of a broken heart. There is a part of you that wishes it ended differently, a part of you that thinks there were magic words you could have said to make her stay. A part of you that really wants to send that one last text message. Listen to me. That part of you is okay. It's human. Don't be ashamed of those feelings. That part of you is the part that knew how to love someone. And loving someone isn't a weakness. It is one of the bravest things a man can ever do. The pain you feel is just proof of how much you are willing to give to another person. So don't act like it's nothing. But at the same time, don't let that pain drive the car. The pain belongs to the past. Your silence is the bridge you are crossing right now. On the other side of that bridge is the man you are becoming. This guy has been through the fire. He is stronger now. He knows what he will allow in his life and what he won't. He knows the difference between real love and just being used by someone else. He knows that taking care of himself isn't being selfish. It's the foundation for everything else. Let's talk about the road ahead of you. This whole mess was never really about her. It was always about you. It's about the guy who exists on the other side of this trouble. It's about the man who wakes up and realizes he didn't even check his phone for a message from her. It's about the man who fills his days with things that actually matter to the world. It's about the man who can walk into a room and not look around for her face. You are becoming a man who is so focused on building a good life that the wound finally turned into a scar. Scars don't hurt anymore. They just prove that you survived something hard. And surviving with your dignity is everything. A man who can walk through fire without turning into ash is a man other people want to follow. They can see it in his eyes. She will see it too. Whether she ever tells you or not, she will know. She will know your silence wasn't you giving up. It was a choice you made to love yourself first. And that choice changed your whole world. You deserve someone who doesn't treat you like a problem to be solved. You deserve someone who sees your silence as depth, not as being cold. You deserve a partner who sees your steady nature as a great strength. You deserve someone who looks at your loyalty as a precious gift. There are women out there who truly get it. They aren't looking for drama or games. They want something real. They want you. You aren't too much to handle. You aren't too serious. You are just a man who isn't meant for everyone. The sooner you understand that, the sooner you can stop trying to fit into a life that isn't big enough for you. The right person won't ask you to be smaller. They will want to stand in that quiet space with you and call it home. But you have to let go of the wrong things first. You have to make room for the good things to come in. This is the hardest part because the wrong things felt so right when they first started. Maybe she was exactly what you needed so you could grow. She wasn't the end of your story. She was just the chapter that made the next chapter possible. Don't carry the anger around with you. Don't hold on to a grudge. Take the lessons you learned and build your new life. The silence she gave you is now your strength. The pain she left behind is now your vision. The empty space is where you found the real you. This isn't a sad story about a breakup. It's the start of the most important story you'll ever tell. It's the story of a man who was hurt but chose to stay strong. He chose himself. He built a new life from the ground up. He became someone his younger self would be very proud of. That man is right here. He's been waiting for the world to get quiet so he could finally hear his own voice. Now he can hear it. Now you can hear it. You already know what to do next. You know the man you want to be. The path is right there in front of you. The drama is finally over. And that silence she can't forget, that is the foundation of your new life. Start building today. Build it slow and careful. Build it with a good plan. Build it to last for a long time. You will last. If this message felt right to you today, join this group of men. We aren't here for quick excitement. We are here for the truth that feels like solid ground under your feet. Join us and come back tomorrow. This is only the beginning of your journey.